So let's get some thoughts now on this standoff from senior political analyst Brit Hume. Good evening, Brit.
Hi, Brett. Polling on the shutdown shows the Republicans getting most of the blame, as you've heard, but the numbers are not nearly as bad for the GOP as they were during shutdowns back in 1995 and 96. A Fox News poll, for example, showed more people blamed the Republicans and the Tea Party over the president and the Democrats by about 10 points. But that's less than half the margin of 18 years ago. And the president himself got virtually the same share of blame as House Speaker John Boehner in that poll. This is remarkable considering how it started. Republicans demanded the complete defunding of Obamacare as the price for keeping the government funded. It was a pie-in-the-sky scheme with no chance of becoming law, and the polls showed the public strongly disapproved. Predictably, it failed, and the shutdown began. But the next thing you saw was TV images of aging military veterans breaching obviously unnecessary shutdown barricades around the open-air World War II memorial. Then the House began passing bills, as you've heard, to reopen key parts of the government, no strings attached. The Senate blocked them, and the White House promised vetoes anyway. So now who was keeping the government closed? Then the Speaker of the House asked for negotiations. The White House balked for days, despite polls showing strong support for talks. Now, the GOP is still in a tight spot, but the clumsy behavior of the president and his party has nearly let them out of it. Brett,
there will be conservatives who say what you just talked about there is what Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas, predicted on day one.
Well, he also was the architect, however, of the strategy to use the prospect of a government shutdown as a point of leverage for defunding Obamacare. Obviously, that didn't work. So the question now for Republicans is how can they come out of this with something?
What's the best hope?
Well, one thing I think we can say for sure is that it doesn't appear that they're going to have the kind of game-changing event here that will so discredit them in the public's eyes compared to the Democrats that they would be in trouble for 2014. That's point number one. The second thing is they need to find some ground on which they can, maybe budgetary, maybe to do with future entitlement spending and so forth, that it would allow them to escape with something to show for this. The government reopens, and perhaps the debt ceiling gets raised. If the president refuses to give them that, I think they're as united as the Democrats are. You notice that those Republicans invited to the White House for tomorrow, when the Speaker said he didn't want to send them all, they stuck with him. They're fine with the group that he's sending over. So we now have two remarkably united parties in the middle of this impasse.
Remarkable. Britt, thanks.
You bet.